Hey, I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATVMC, and today I'm going to show you how to install Tusk Crash Bars on your KLR650. These are going to fit your 2022 and newer bikes, and we're also going to show you how to install the lower crash bars as well. Now these are two separate kits, so be aware of that, and you have to have the uppers to fit the lowers. But what you're going to be getting is protection if you tip the bike over. So the uppers are going to protect the body as well as your radiators, and then the lower ones, you're going to be protecting your water pump cover as well as your engine cover. So with that being said, these are pretty simple to install. So let's go ahead and get started. So right here we have our Tusk Crash Bars. We're also going to be installing the lower crash bars as well. And then this is all the hardware. So this stuff is for the lower crash bars. This is for the regular crash bars. Whatever kit you have, if you just have one or both, you want to go through the instructions and make sure you have everything that should be in the kit and get familiar with the install process. So with that being said, let's go over to the machine. So the first thing you want to take off on the bike is the two small plastic side covers. So we're just going to remove that Allen screw right there. And then these are going to pop off. They have a couple of grommets holding them in place. Sometimes the grommets come off, but if that happens, just pull it off, pop it right back into your fairing. And then you're going to have a bolt right here that you need to remove. And then we've got the same thing on the left side. From here we need to gain access to the lower engine mounts, and to do this I'm going to remove the skid plate. This isn't absolutely necessary, but it will make the job a lot easier, and you're going to be able to correctly torque these bolts. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. Now we can remove the two engine to frame mounting bolts and set those aside because we will reuse those. The next step is to install the front bracket underneath the headlight and above the fender at the bottom of the headstay. Now, if you're working on your machine on the ground, you can turn your wheel to the side to gain access to that mounting point. But for us, we're just going to remove this fender to get it out of the way. To get the front bracket installed, we have this 20mm long bolt. It's hex head. We're going to go through the bottom of the bracket, install the spacer, and then at the bottom of the head stay, this already has threads in it at that mounting location. So we're just going to thread that in there. I'm going to thread the bolt all the way in, but we're not going to tighten it yet. We want some adjustability in it. And then once we have everything mounted up, we'll go back through and tighten everything down. Now to install the crash bars, we're going to start with the left side, and we've got the two lower engine mounting bolts. We're going to put those in place first. And then this middle mounting location, we're going to use the 45mm bolt. And we're going to thread this in. We're going to leave it loose enough that we can make adjustments. Then we'll go install the right side crash bar. Now for the right side crash bar, you want to set that in place. You're going to start with your 45mm bolt, get that threaded in to hold everything in place, and then you can push the two lower mounting bolts all the way through and install the nuts. Now I'm going to install the two button head bolts through both of the crash bars and through the center bracket, and then we've got the nylock nut on the back side. So now that we have everything loosely installed, we need to go back through and tighten everything down. There is an order to this, and the first thing you want to do is center up the center bracket. So once you have that done, you can tighten down the mounting bolt going into the head stay. After that, you want to tighten down the button head bolts and the nylock nuts. Finish by tightening the nut on the back side. Then we'll tighten down both side bolts. After that, you want to tighten and torque the lower engine mounting bolts. Then once you have everything tightened down, you can go ahead and reinstall your side panels, your skid plate if you removed it, and for us, we need to reinstall our fender. Now for our skid plate, we're upgrading to an Enduro engineering one. So we're just going to start with the 4 front mounting bolts, and we're going to leave them loose because, again, we are going to be installing the lower crash bars as well. Now for the lower crash bars, if you have a stock skid plate, you're going to use the 16mm long bolt that came in your kit, and you're going to start with the rear mounting location. So that's going to be just behind your stock skid plate. There's a little tab right here with a nut already welded on it. But since we have this aftermarket skid plate, you're going to want to source a longer bolt. You could use an M20 or M25. We opted for the longer bolt. It's going to help everything start a little bit easier. And the tab, this is going to go in between the skid plate and the frame. And you just want to start that by hand, make sure it's not cross-threaded. And then up here at the crash bar, we've got the other half of our clamp. We're going to set that on top of there. And then these Allen head bolts, we've got 4 of them. We're going to loosely thread those in. So once you have these loosely installed, you want to do the same thing on the other side. And then when you go to tighten everything down, you want to tighten this top clamp evenly first, and then you're going to tighten this bottom bolt. And since we have this aftermarket skid plate, we're going to go back through and tighten down that hardware as well. And that's how you install the Tusk Crash Bars on your 2022 and newer KLR650, as well as those lower crash bars. Now, if you have any questions about the install process, leave those down in the comments below. And if you need to pick a set of these up, maybe you're just watching this to see how difficult it is to get them installed, you can find these on our website, and we offer free shipping on orders over $75. So go check that out and subscribe to our channel for more helpful content. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.